Last week I had surgery on my ACL, hence the crutches. And the day after my surgery, I needed help with physical therapy. And my close friend for close to 40 years, his name is D.E., came to visit me, a physical therapist. And he showed me exactly what to do, how to pick up my legs, how to do squats, everything, Baruch Hashem. In any event, after he finished, so as our minhag is, as we usually do, we got into an argument about the army. And he said, yeshiva students must be in the army. And I said, yeshiva students don't have to be in the army. We're our own army. We have an army. Whereas, as we showed in our video for our campaign, what was it called again? The Victory through Torah. And he said, when I saw that video, he said, I was fuming with anger. He said, to think that you're sitting in the base medrash and you're doing the same thing as somebody on the front line. So that's the topic of this next 5-part series, right? Avreichem in the army. Do Avreichem belong in the army, or do Avreichem belong in the base medrash? What is the halachic perspective? Because I found, as I was arguing with him, I was talking from basically ignorance. A lot of things that people say in yeshivas, or in coffee rooms, or in the mikvah, right? You know, I think if NBC or one of these news stations would send their cameramen to the mikvah, you know, they would get all the world-breaking news. Right? Most world-breaking news happens in the mikvah. So, Lamaisa, I decided to sit down, to gird my loins, and to go through this sugya. Do Avreichem need to be in the army? Do we have to send all the Avreichem here to the army? Or should they be in the base medrash? Is that really the right place for Avreichem to be during a war, such as the one we have going on now? In any event, the first question we have to deal with, is what we're fighting now a Milcheses Mitzvah? Does anybody know? Is it a Milcheses Mitzvah?
I would think so.
Okay. You would think so, right? A mitzvah, right? Saving Jewish lives is a mitzvah. But that's what has to be determined. So it's very interesting. I heard on, who was it? Eli Stefanski. He has the biggest daf yomi, one of the biggest daf yomi shirim in the world. And he mentioned the diuk in Rashi, that the Milchama now is a Milcheses Rishos, and he got tons of mail, very upset. He said, it's Rashi. Anyway, but what's the halacha l'maisa? How do we paskin here? So it's very, very interesting. There's a Gemara here, and everything always starts with a Gemara. There's a Gemara in Sota Daf Mem Daled. It's talking about sending people home from the front line, right? And it says this all is talking about a Milcheses Mitzvah. Milcheses Rishos, that you send people home who has a vineyard, who just got married, who's afraid. He says, but by a Milcheses Mitzvah, afilu chasen michadaroi v'kala michupaso. Even the kala from the chuppah, you know, if we're dressed, she walks down to the cheder yichud and then straight to the army. Now she's not fighting; she's supplying food and things like that. But it sounds like a Milcheses Mitzvah. Everybody goes. So is this a Milcheses Mitzvah? So Gemara asks this question on Sota Daf Mem Daled Amud Beis, right? The Gemara says, so what's a Milcheses Mitzvah? So when it says, the Milchama of Yeshua to conquer Eretz Yisrael, that was for sure a Milcheses Mitzvah. The Milchama of David to expand Eretz Yisrael, that's for sure Milcheses Rishos. So there's a machlokus between Rav Yehuda and the Chamim. Yeah? He says, it's talking about, and listen to this wording here. Lamuti of the Kachavim Dolesi, to lessen the goyim that they shouldn't come. What does that mean exactly? Yeah, we'll see in a second. And the nafkamina is somebody's already doing a mitzvah. Is that a mitzvah or not? Lamuti of the Kachavim Dolesi. Okay. So, Maisa, what does that mean? The Rambam explains, that if you're fighting a war, in order that they shouldn't come and attack you, you want to make sure they don't come and attack you. That's called Delo Leisi Olayu, right? That's called Delo Leisi. That's for sure Delo Leisi Olayu, right? That's called for sure Delo Leisi Olayu. Okay, so what about that? Now, I ask you again, so is this war that we shouldn't be attacked by the Goyim to scare them? Okay, we'll see. If that's the case, then it's a Milcheses Rishos. And the Rambam paskins that's called a Milcheses Rishos. Comes along the Rambam, that's in Parashah Mishnayos in Sota. Comes along the Rambam in Yad HaChazaka. It's in, where is it? It's in Hilchos Malachim, Hey Aleph. Eina melech nilcham tchila Milcheses Mitzvah, right? The king fights Milcheses Mitzvah. What's called Milcheses Mitzvah? Shivas Amim, Milcheses Hamalek. And then it says, Ve'ezrus Yisrael miyad sar shabo aleihim. And helping the Jewish people from a sar, from an enemy that comes on them. That's called the Milcheses Mitzvah. At this point, we take our hat and we go like this. That means we're confused, right? Because the Rambam in Parashah Mishnayos said that a mitzvah, that a war, to weaken the goyim so they don't attack us, that's called Milcheses Rishus. But the Rambam in Yad HaChazaka, Perek Hey Halach Aleph Malachim, says that a Milchama, the Ezras Yisrael, helping Jewish people from an enemy, that's called Milcheses Mitzvah. So what is it? So everybody basically says the same answer over here, which is very, very important in Yisodi, like this, right? If you're already being attacked, let's say on October 7th, right? We have thousands of terrorists, and they were worried that maybe tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. One of my Talmidim, Moshe Moskowitz, who's in the one of the highest divisions in the Israeli army, he was in Florida, and they called him up. He had to travel, get back there to Israel right after October 7th. And you called up, that's Milcheses Mitzvah, because they're actual goyim attacking with guns and going around and shooting and killing people, taking hostages, chatufim. That's for sure Milcheses Mitzvah, right? But if the point of the war is to weaken the enemy and to scare them that they shouldn't attack us, that's called the Milcheses Rishus, right? Who says that? The Lechem Mishnah explains that, and then there's a sefer called the Gufei Halachas, the Karen Ora, all the Achronim. That's the way they miyashiv these Rambams. And we have to, based on that, we have to ask ourselves, so how are we going to understand this war? On one hand, October 7th, that was for sure Milcheses Mitzvah. But what? Do we look at this war as like one ongoing war? Right? Okay, they're still carrying out terrorist attacks, coming in from villages, attacking us. They're still sending missiles once in a while, mostly from Yemen. So how do we look at it now? Right? Do we look at this Milcheses Mitzvah or Rishus? What do you say? What do you guys say?
Does it make a difference that there's people who have been kidnapped, like currently we're trying to get them back?
Yeah, I don't know if we could call that Biyad Sar. It could be Ezras Yisrael Biyad Sar, but the war doesn't seem to be helping that. If anything, it's just antagonizing them more and causing them, to get more upset with us. So I don't know if hostages are going to make a difference, but I would say at least we could offer, since there's still missiles coming, since they attacked us initially, since they want to completely destroy us, and they're trying everything to destroy us, there's still tunnels, right? There's still Jews being killed every day. I think we could still call it, we could at least a possibility it's Milcheses Mitzvah. It might be Milcheses Rus. It's a possibility it's Milcheses Mitzvah. If it's a Milcheses Mitzvah, so seemingly the halacha is, afilu chasen michadaro, bekal michupaso. Everybody has to go without exception. So that means all of Avreichem should be in the army. Everybody without exception. You go to a chasna, and right afterwards, you should go straight to the front line. So as we say in Yiddish, what's going on here? This needs to be explained, and B'ezrat Hashem, we will continue. Ken Son.